So the subject of the shiur, I decided to call it few words of encouragement, a few words of encouragement about the situation in Eretz Israel, because the situation is not good. The Torah tells us in Sefer Dvarim, Parashat Vayithanan, chapter 4, verse 30. Tell us something very interesting. I'm going to read it in Hebrew, then our friend Menachem going to read it in English. בצר לך ומצאוך כל הדברים האלה באחרית הימים, ושבת עד אדוני אלוהיך ושמעת בקולו.
When you are in distress and all these things have befallen you at the end of days, you will return unto Hashem your God.
Okay. That's what the Torah tells us. But listen what it says. בצר לך. In single. We know that the situation in Eretz Israel affects each one of us. So why does it say it in single? It should say בצר לכם. When you all in dire strait, when you all underneath stress, when you all underneath problem. Why did he say בצר לך and singly? Rabotai, we understand the question.
Yeah, give you an answer.
That's the question asked Rabbi Haim ben Attar, Or Haim HaKadosh. He asked, why is the Torah saying singly? Rabbi Haim ben Attar also explained. Now I know that many of you are going to say, you know, we all one nation, we all consider as one body. So we say it in single, not in plural. Nachon, but when there is dire strait, it's the dire strait of the entire nation, the Jewish nation. What's happening now in Eretz Israel, what's happening in the world at the moment. You saw today what's happened. I don't have to tell you what's happened.
What happened today?
The South African government allowed representatives of the Hamas to come here. Sorry? It doesn't make a difference, but they allow them to come here. Yeah? Sorry?
And when
What the difference? Rabotai, what's the difference? We're not here now to protect or not. Let's get with the show. Rabotai, let's don't get to the nitty-gritty. So when there is a problem, we think that
we are the only one.
we are the only one. But we think that it's affecting only one of us. Has v'shalom. It's affecting the entire Jewish nation, all over the world, wherever we are. Rabbi Haim ben Attar says something extraordinary. When I heard that pirush, I couldn't believe. He said that in the end of days, listen to what the Torah tells us. In the end of day, b'tzar lecha, will be certain giants, certain scholar people that will lift up their eyes and see what's happening in the world. What's happening at the moment all over the world. Rabotai, we quick to forget because there is so much stories, one after each other, one after each other. We forgot what's happened in France. We forgot what's happened in India. We forget what's happening all over the world. It's not just Eretz Israel. Lately it's become an Eretz Israel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu starting to move the wheel. We're getting towards the Geulah, Rabotai. Rabbi Haim ben Attar say, בצר לך, באחרית הימים, בצר לך, will be certain giant in our generation that lift up their eyes and see the situation. What's happening? And they're going to stand, those scholar person, going to stand in the front of the Almighty and will daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to ask for mercy, to ask for forgiveness for the Jewish people. Every second day that we don't hear that there is a stabbing, Has v'Shalom, that there is no murdering in Eretz Israel, I feel my heart less beating. Every time that I press the internet to go to Arutz Sheva, I look at only at Arutz Sheva, don't look at any other news. I look at the headline. When I see that nothing happened, I say, Baruch Hashem. Just before I came, I heard another bad news. A 19 years old girl in a, what do you call it? Critical condition. she been stabbed. How much more in Binyamin? How much more? So Rabbi Haim ben Attar say, in that generation, we'll have certain giant that will stand and will daven and to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for mercy, for forgiveness, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will protect our nation. But Rabotai, we have to understand that what's happened in Israel at the moment, it's another excuse of our cousin to cause havoc in the world. We all know that there is certain of our brothers that decide to go up to Harabait, and that's where it started, what we call it, I think that we can call what's happening now in Eretz Israel, the third Intifada. Now, why do you think that all of this havoc happened? Because certain people decide that they can go up to Harabait. I don't understand who given him the permission, because I didn't see no hater from no rabbi in Eretz Israel. Arav Shtembuch, Moshe Shtembuch, Rosh Ha'ida Haredit. He said that those people to go to Harabait, they'll have to pay for that punishment of people that get killed. So far, we're talking about the death toll. So far, it's reaching between 7 to 9. There's few on critical condition. Harav Yitzhak Yosef, say who given him the permission? There is not one of the Gedolim that allow it. None of the Gedolim allowed anyone to go to Harabait. Rabotai, we all Tme'em Etim. We all Tme'em Etim. You know what is it Tme'em Etim? Everyone doesn't understand? Okay, very good. What it means Tme'em Etim? We all have the impurity of a dead. Because we all, for some reason, wars, come in contact with bodies, with deceased. We have no rights to go to Harabait. Not only that, I saw a shaila before I spoke. I was checking that. A person that's flying an aeroplane or flying a helicopter, is he allowed to fly over Harabait? Harabait, everyone understand what is Harabait? No?
I'm confused.
Harabait, wait. You say you don't understand, listen. Harabait, that's exactly where Kodesh HaKodashim. Where is that? Where is the Kotel? Above the Kotel, look at that. Go up a bit, look at the steps. You see where you see the
bridge?
No, the bridge. The bridge is how to get there. Where is the Kotel? Yeah. The wall.
Yeah.
Above the wall?
Yes.
Straight. Look straight. Where they have the on. Yeah. Where they have the mosque. That's exactly where is Kodesh HaKodashim. The Holy of Holiness. That's Harabait. The question is, Rabotai, are we allowed to fly above Harabait? The Gaon, Arav Ovadia Yosef, Zecher Tzadik Vekadosh Libracha, Rabotai Pasken, and Yalkut Yosef, that his son wrote, that we're not allowed to fly over Harabait. As Kal Vahomer, that we have nothing to do there. So why to start giving our cousin a reason to start another havoc? But it's all another reason. It's all another reason for them to cause another havoc.
I mean, people from us went onto the Harabait. That's why they got upset.
That's it. They got upset, and they start saying that we disgrace, as a Jewish people, we disgrace Harabait. We're not allowed to go there. But anyway, we have nothing to do there. But anyway, look, I call for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But I saw a question that been asked by Arav Avraham Azulai. Rabbi Avraham Azulai, just to give you a knowledge, he born in Morocco. Some say that he was the grandfather of the Hida, Rabbi Haim David Yosef Azulai. Some people say, no, he was the grandfather. Okay. And he bringing a question in the name of the Rabbi Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro. Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro lived around 460, 470 years ago in Tzfat. Cordoviro, it's from Cordovera in Spain. That's where the family came. And he bringing his name. When we see a Gentile stabbing, hitting, killing a Jew, how come? Who given a Gentile the permission? Or how come that a Gentile have that permission or that merit to hurt a Jew? That's the question. You know what he answered? Ivan, you look confused, nachon? You know that you, the son, listen to me, I tell you why you're confused. Because we lost it in the last generation. We don't understand what it means to be a Jew. You are the son of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You are a father. Even when your kids sometime antagonize you, sometime make you mad, you give it pots and toches. Whatever punishment you give, but you're still the father. You still love your kids. Each one of us here that have kids, that have grandchildren, can you tell me that when the kids is naughty or when the grandchildren is naughty, you hate them? No. You have to be Meshugana. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed the Goy to give us a pot, HaKadosh Baruch Hu love us. But you know what the Rabbi Haim, Rabbi Avraham Azulai say in the name of the Ramak? You know who given him the permission? Us, with our sin. And how does he get that? When you see those crazy ones that dreaming about virgin, dreaming about, I don't know where they come with those nonsense, but instead of having virgin, I think that they're going to have a nice Gehenna.
Amen.
But you know what's happening when he takes the knife or the rifle and he starts shooting? You know what's happening? The Ramak Cordoviro say that the Satan, the devil, gets inside his neshama, and he that given him that string and energy to hurt a Jewish person. Can you believe it?
No.
No.
Because I'll tell you why.
Why?
I've actually got two questions there.
Okay, now it's not time for questions. Let us finish, because
shortly.
if you ask, we're going to stop the time. Yeah, short, quick.
And to the point.
To the point.
We just passed Yom Kippur. We asked for forgiveness.
Nachon.
Now, look what's happening to us.
No.
The Chagim is not even over yet.
Nachon.
Okay?
So what are you trying to say?
And then, if Hashem, let's say a father has a problem with his son, is he going to beat the next door neighbor child?
He beating us. We as his kids, we get stabbed.
Yeah, but
not them.
Sometimes innocent people that had no evil in
Where
their
do you
head.
say innocent people? How did you say innocent people? Everything that happened, אין במקרה. במקרה, the word במקרה, split it. רק מהשם. Everything that happened is from Hashem.
A 19-year-old. How bad could she do?
What you know what she's done? We don't know. We don't know חשבונות שמיים. In חשבונות שמיים you can't get involved. That's why you missed the shiur on Shabbat, on Parashat Bereshit. Why is it started with Bet? Why Bet? How's the Bet look? That's what you missed. So now you have questions. Try not to miss Shabbat shiur. You're not going to have any questions. So, Rabotai, we have to understand that what's happening at the moment in Israel, with all the difficult time, with all what we still see the mercy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we see in Be'er Sheva that the terrorists grab the weapon of a soldier and only two, it's not normal. In America, when a person gets into the university, what's the casualties? It doesn't stop. When a guy driving, when a guy driving with his car and try to drive over number of people, and there is one person get hurt or one person get killed, that's a miracle. So we have to open our eyes to see what's happening in the world. Our Father.
But to the person that's injured, it's like, it's not just one person, it's the world.
Absolutely. But you must understand that when one person in America enter a college, what is he doing? And here, it was in a central bus in Be'er Sheva. Sorry, shopping center. Sorry, my mistake. The shopping center in Be'er Sheva. It doesn't make a difference. We see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu have his eyes on us. He protects us. But we have to understand, with all of those mercy that we have to open our eyes. Yeah.
Hashem killed 6 million Jews. How can he have mercy on us?
Oh, can we speak about it after the show? I'll give you an answer for that. Be'ezrat Hashem. I hope that it will satisfy you. And I'll give you a website to go also, to look at it. So, when we see those things that happen, the tzoros that we have, it's to wake us up. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you look, how does he give us those tzoros? Doesn't give it all in one shot. He give it on a wave. Because he have a mercy on us. Has v'shalom. Rabotai, can you imagine? This is just knife and weapon. What will happen? Rabotai, just wake up for a second and think. Gaza going to start waking up. The North going to wake up. We're surrounded by them. What would happen? We wouldn't know where to put. There is the soldier now inside the cities. Do you understand what's happening? Has v'shalom, if the Hezbollah starts opening the missiles, hundreds of thousands of missiles, we wouldn't know what to do. Rabotai, we must open our eyes to see the mercy that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has on us. But with that, we have a hope. David HaMelech, in Tehillim, David Melech Israel, in his book Tehillim, in Psalm 22, listen what he said. Lamnatseach al ayelet hashahar. Lamnatseach al ayelet hashahar. What does it mean? Did you ask yourself? Ayelet hashahar. That's when the sun starts to rise. And Hazal tell us an interesting story. Hazal tell us a story that happened with Rabbi Abba. Rabbi Abba was walking during the night. Where? In Bik'at Arel. And it was just before the sunrise. And the next thing you see that the sun starts to rise slowly. We all know why. You know why the sun doesn't rise suddenly? Slowly. Doesn't rise one shot. You know why? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu have a mercy on us. From darkness and suddenly we'll see light. How many people will turn blind? Rabbi Abba say, look at that. What David HaMelech say. Lamnatseach al ayelet hashahar. Before the end of days, like we read before at the beginning of the Sha'ul, we're going to see trouble. But they're going to come slowly. The same like the sun rising slowly, and suddenly she's here. The same going to be with the Mashiach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to send us things to wake us up. My children, I want you to lift up your eyes up. Rabbi Abba said that's how it's going to be our redemption. The same like the sun rising. We're going to have those trouble, those pain, but suddenly it's finished. That's going to be the burst, the pain burst of the Mashiach. The same like a woman. Before she give a birth, she had those contractions, and then they're going strong and strong and strong, and closer, and suddenly it's finished. And then there is a smile. The baby come to the world. That's going to be when the Mashiach comes. But we have to ask ourselves, why do we have to suffer? Did you ask yourself? Couldn't the Mashiach come without suffering? Yes, he can, if we do mitzvot. But because we don't do enough good deeds, each one of us, Rabota, it's each one of us. You know, they ask Arab Ben Zion Mutzafi. You know, they ask him, he gave a lot of shiurim. Arab Mutzafi, Shehyeh, Shalita. They ask him, when is the Mashiach going to come? I mentioned it, I think, one or twice in the shiurim. You know what he said? Arab Ben Zion Mutzafi? He said, when the religious people will do tshuva. When we, that we're the Yami, when we're going to do tshuva, the Mashiach going to come. Why? Are we 100%? Are we doing kiruv? Are we looking after our brothers? Are we trying to do good deeds? Or are we just for ourselves? What's good for me? Never mind the others. So the Zohar explain, why do we have to suffer? Listen, Rabota, listen to it carefully. Mashiach ben Yosef. That because we suffering now, Mashiach ben Yosef going to stay alive. And he going to fight. He going to do all the fight with those unhuman beings. Because if I call them animal, I'm going to even disgrace the animal, Haz v'shalom. Because the animal, when he's hungry, he hunt, he eat the lion. They kill because they want 70 virgins. Did you hear about, I don't know what to call it. I don't know how to call those human beings. Sorry?
You forget the 2, 72.
72. Sorry, 72. Sorry, I forgot. Extra 2. Moti, remind me. 72. Where is that nonsense to kill other people's life? B'tselem Elokim bara et ha'adam. In the image of the Almighty, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us. We explained that 2 weeks ago. What it means in the image of Hashem. And they go and kill. They don't care. They have no values. So the Zohar says it's that Mashiach ben Yosef going to stay alive. And Mashiach ben Yosef going to take the revenge. Not only that Mashiach ben Yosef, while we suffering, he's staying alive. That he's going to finish with him the Hishbon. Because there is 2 Mashiachim, you know that. There is Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef. 2 different Mashiachim, 2 different jobs. But we have to remember and we have to understand. And with that, before I conclude, there is a Shala and a Poskim. What should we do in difficult time? And I'm going to bring Rabbeinu Behaye. Rabbeinu Behaye, there is 2 Rabbeinu Behaye. You remember? We spoke about it. The Rabbeinu Behaye that I'm going to bring now, that's Rabbeinu Behaye Even Pakoda. They bought from Spain. He's the older one. And his book, Chovat HaLevavot, Obligation of the Heart. That's all about Emunah, that book. He explains, actually he's been asked, in that time, is a person when he do his own ishtadlut, his personal ishtadlut. Everyone understand what is it, ishtadlut? No. When a person do his personal effort to protect himself, whatever it's going to be, because we obligated to look ourselves. When a person carry a gun on himself, is that considered hoser emunah or not? No. He said that when it's come to difficult time like that, and we been threat, not only that it's not hoser emunah, we obligated to do it. We obligated to do anything that we can do to protect ourselves.
To defend ourselves.
To protect. Defend is definitely, Abba leorgecha, Ashkem leorgo. To make sure that in any way we should be safe. That's Rabbeinu Behaye. So those people that Eretz Israel that carry guns, if someone say on them that they are Hoser Emunah, you can send them to Rabbeinu Behaye. But we have to remember one important thing. We have to remember in those difficult times, we have to lift up our eyes up to heaven. To ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to pray, Rabotai, each one of us, every day to say one capital of Tehillim extra. How long does it take? 50 seconds, 30 seconds, depends how quick you read.
A minute.
One extra capital of Tehillim, if each one of us. Not only that, that Hazal tell us that if the youngsters, Tinokot shel Bet Rabban, that didn't reach the mitzvot, if they say capital of Tehillim, there is no value for it. Nothing compared to us. You know why? Hazal say, לא דומה הבל פיהם של בית רבן, תינוקות של בית רבן, to us. Why? Because they not obligated. They didn't sin. So if you can ask your children, your grandchildren, one capital Tehillim a day extra, you know what we can do? How things gonna change? If each one of us daven with extra kavana, extra shi'urim, we can change the decree, Rabotai. I would like to give you a pasuk. It's a remedy that when we in dire strait, Hazal tell us, and we afraid, we can say a pasuk, and there is a guarantees that we're going to be saved. And the pasuk go like this, that we should say. Meimini, Michael. In my right, the angel Michael. Mismoli, in my left, Gabriel. Milfanai, in the front of me, Uriel. Me'acharai, Raphael. Behind me, Raphael. Ume'alai, Shechinat El. And above me, the presence of the Almighty. When we say that pasuk, you have no understand how much protection a person can get. And I would like to conclude with the story. Everyone know the Rova Yehudi, nachon? Everyone understand? The Jewish quarter in Yerushalayim, in the old city. A balanit. Everyone know what is it, a balanit? A balanit is a lady that work in a mikvah. I heard that story from Arav Ben Zion Mutzafi. I heard this story from him. And the Arav Ben Zion Mutzafi say that exactly 10 days ago. I heard that story from him when I was listening to his show. And Arav Ben Zion Mutzafi said, it was a lady that working in a mikvah. She finished her duty at 11 o'clock at night. She lived few streets, you know, from the Rova Yehudi, just in the Rova Yehudi, from the mikvah, few streets. When she finished her duty, she locked the mikveh and she started walking home. The usual. Suddenly she heard that she can feel that someone walking behind her. She looked back, couldn't see nothing. Rabbi, just to remind you, the old city full of civilian camera and footages was. She couldn't see who's following her. She was so afraid. She turned to another street, like usually she doesn't go. She can feel and she can hear the footsteps behind her. She starts running. Now, she's a wreck. She's afraid. She remembered that verse, but she was so much anxious that she couldn't say the full pasuk. So she was saying, Mimini Michael, Mismoli Gabriel, and she couldn't finish the full pasuk, and she was running. The next thing, she saw soldiers, the Mishmar HaGvul, you know, the border patrol, the police. They saw her, she was a wreck. They asked her what's happened. She explained to him. Immediately, they start searching. They caught the guy. The guy have a knife. They said to him, they took him to interrogation. In the interrogation room, they asked him, tell me, you couldn't catch her? They look at the footage. They see him. It takes 2 seconds for that young man to catch that old lady. She's not old, but he's much younger than her. How come that you didn't catch her? How come that you didn't manage to save her? You know what he said, Rabotai? I tried, but I saw 2 men walking with her, defending her, protecting her. And each time that I come closer, they was fighting with me. You understand that? Because that lady said the pasuk, Akadosh Baruch Hu sent your angel. But not just because she said, because she done a great mitzvah. Taharat HaMishpacha.
Sure.
Rabotai, if anyone want to hear that shi'ur or want to see it, there's footage to it. It's all true. So how much so if she was doing Taharat HaMishpacha, if we'll take on ourselves, Rabotai, extra shi'ur, extra capital of Tehillim, to do good deeds, kind and chesed, what can we do to change the situation? Each one of us, Rabotai, each one of us, we all one family. Batzar lecha. One, we all one family. And Be'ezrat Hashem, if we take on ourselves to do better deeds, to do mitzvot, to daven properly, extra shi'urei Torah, there is no question that we see miracle. Be'ezrat Hashem, speedily in our day, we'll see the Mashiach.